Wandavision, episode 7. 7. Almost had it right. Yeah, so, look, if you've been paying attention to Wandavision, then you know episode 7 dropped. Me and my girlfriend watched it this morning, and they threw a lot at us in this one. Like, a lot of reveals, but also more questions that need to be answered. And we still had we only have 2 episodes, but we still have 2 episodes to go. Episode 9 might be an epilogue. Like everything ultimately maybe comes to a head in episode 8, and then we get an epilogue in the aftermath of episode 8 in episode 9. I doubt that, but that's possible. Well, look, I mean, first and foremost, I love this episode. This actually might be my favorite episode now. I think just because of the interactions, Vision, the fact that the ramifications of Wanda's actions are starting to come to a head. So what do we learn here and what can we extrapolate? Let's first break it down a little bit. We know that Hayward was trying to revive Vision and basically turn him more into an Ultron. Now, there is one shot from the promotional trailers that we still have where Wanda is looking at what appears to be the Mind Stone or some sort of glowing object. Almost like in a trance, and then we see it like a shot of her destroying the Mind Stone again. I don't know if the Mind Stone is back or in play, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean it's not either. There's the reveal. We'll talk about Agatha in a little bit, but the reveal of Agatha, I don't think Agatha is in this by herself because she's a witch, and it's clear she's got what either is like a grimoire or she's got someone behind the scene, like someone a deity, a patron god she worships or whatever, be it Dormammu, Mephisto, whatever. So maybe that's it. But we learned that Hayward is still just a dick. He's just an ass. Like, we didn't get a lot in this episode to really cement that further, but we didn't get anything to really, besides the fact that they're going to turn Vision into a weapon again. But we didn't get anything that kind of negated that either. Like, Hayward is just an ass. We didn't really get a payoff on that aerospace engineer, the one that Monica was talking about. Now, that doesn't mean that doesn't lay the groundwork for things. Like, if it's Reed Richards, what that does, because we know our Fantastic Four movies come down the pipeline in a year or two. I can't remember exactly what year it is. Maybe 2022, 2023, either way. In a few years, we'll get a Fantastic Four movie officially. So what that could, if it is Reed Richards who's the aerospace engineer, and we don't know it is, what that could be doing is laying the groundwork. It's like, hey, he's an aerospace engineer. We're not going to mention him by name. We're just going to let you know that, hey, he's the guy who kind of helped build this. But I do like the fact that, hey, we got this, yeah, and it doesn't work. They just charge. It's like, no. And then Monica's like, I can go through. I'm like, okay, so she can go through. Because she's not forcing herself into in a violent manner. Hers is a more protective kind of, I want to do what's right form of, plunging through the shield. The shield, by the way, we've never known how thick that shield is. My guess is by the Wanda expanding it, that shield's gotten thick. The actual, here's the outside world, here's Wanda's world. Maybe it used to be like this. You had to walk through it a little bit. Now it looks like it's more like that. But now we see Monica gets her powers, her whatever it be, photon, spectre, whatever her moniker's going to be. Monica gets her powers. We don't know really what she's capable of doing in the Marvel MCU right now. What we do know is she can clearly see it in an electromagnetic spectrum, and she's got some sort of electrical powers as well. I do think it would have been hilarious. I was like, I can go through, and then it's like, no, you can't. I do think that would have been hilarious, but whatever. What I really liked about this episode too is we get the more serious stuff with bits of humor with Wanda kind of just burnt out on her little expanding the field thing. But we get another great little side bit of humor with Darcy and Vision. I am a little sad we didn't get the 2 broke girls reference from Darcy. Instead, she's an escape artist, and Vision to her, she's now she's now filled Vision in on what happens. Like, so I thought that Wanda killed me. She kind of asked her to save the universe and all that, and then did it work? It's like, yeah, it did. And then the bad guy rewound time and killed you again, and she had to watch. So what does that make me? It's like, and with the love you got, I like the fact too. It's like Wanda's clearly trying to slow us down. He's just looking at the camera, Modern Family. So I do like that too, where you just realize like, screw this. Why am I talking to you people? Like, I did love that. It's like, yeah, it's like, why are you talking to these people? It's like, come on. Now let's be clear too. That means that now we know Agatha Harkness is involved. That might not have been Wanda's doing. We'll again talk about that a little farther on. But me and my girlfriend have been having a conversation on this, going back and forth, and I think we're both kind of on the same page. She was under the impression that maybe Agatha now had like gone in, disguised the Wanda, and broken Vision's body out. But no, when Monica finally confronts Wanda again, and she brings it up, Wanda, it's like, don't you bring that up. And it's like, no, Wanda did that. She even says like, maybe I am the bad guy now. I'm like, it's like she's more than willing to basically just be self-centered about this and be like, no, maybe I'm the bad guy. But, Monica, obviously, having lost her mom to cancer, is able to relate to her on some level, some really visceral level of loss, which, is really good for the character dynamic. But obviously we see Wanda's powers it's in flood. Like, again, the commercial from previous episode, I feed on your magic. It's clear she's stretching herself thin, and Agnes is clearly like absorbing her magic for her abilities for some reason or another. For whatever reason it may be, will get revealed in episode 8. So now things are like, they're hexing over, they're not phasing or flickering. They're glitching now. So that's going to come to it. But what really kind of stood out to me, not just we've all kind of been thinking, for us, with the comics, Agatha Harkness. We've been thinking that. What I was not expecting was when we got to the commercial for this episode, it's like, try Nexus. And I'm like, and it took me a second. It took me, because I obviously know the comics pretty well. And I've done characters and Who Would Win that I deal with this. I'm like, when I hear Nexus, I'm like, I actually went like, are they going there? It's like the next. So Westview apparently is the nexus of reality in the Marvel universe, MCU universe. Now, for those of you who are not aware what that is, that's clearly what's going to be tying into the multiverse down the road. Then, what a nexus is a focal point for a large conglomerate of things meeting together, and that is the nexus point. The nexus of reality in Marvel Comics is the exact same concept, except for alternate realities, and multiverse, aka multiverses. This would also explain why Wanda's powers seem so much stronger at the moment, because her general abilities seem to be telekinesis, telekinetic fields, all that, and telepathy, mind control. But if you were to take a person whose power seems to apparently have magical implications, apparently Wanda's power does seem to emulate magic. And me and my girlfriend were talking about this too, why Agatha maybe didn't try to go like after Doctor Strange or something. Like, it's because Doctor Strange has had a lot more experience dealing with this shit and is actually a fighter. Like, he's a martial artist too. He learned how to fight, and he's got far more versatility in what he can do. Wanda might be more powerful, but Strange is not someone she'd want to go up against if she could help it. Probably. I'm guessing. So you take someone whose power already is, very, interesting, variable, all that, and now you, coming from the Infinity Stone, no less, and you put her at the center of the nexus of reality, which is why I think Wanda said, we can't leave. Like, that's why she's able to alter reality now, is because she's on the nexus of reality, and for some reason it's siphoning into her. So that, I think, is something we can really, look at. I do want to point out, too, the fact that Monica just barged into Wanda's house and just assumed that Wanda was going to listen. I was like, you remember what happened last time? And sure enough, nope. boom. But, Monica's just like, nope, I've got powers now. Like, she wasn't even aware of it. She's just reacting. But I do love that scene because because it's the same thing I'm thinking. Like, if I am the character who's got to confront Wanda here, I'm like, okay, you going to do it? Do it. Take me out. And Wanda can't do it. There's still a good person in Wanda. And I was like, that's what's different about you and Hayward. I'm sorry, I lost my, I was like, but that's my truth, okay? And okay, so now we get into the final bit where it's like the big reveal. Because they did a couple things that were like huge in this episode. But the big reveal. So right from the get, we've always known something's been wrong with Agnes. Something's different. She's not the same as everyone else, and they don't have an ID on her. I can't remember. Is it Billy who's the psychic? Billy, I think, is the psychic. I'm gonna go with that. No. Sorry, I can't remember. Let's go Billy. When the psychic kid basically say, Agnes, there's something. It's quiet here. No, with you, Agnes, you're quiet. You'll get that look on Agnes's face because we all know there's something off with Agnes. And that look on her face seems very concerned and feeling bad about maybe what she's going to do. So when we see Agnes see Monica again, and she takes one, I'm like, okay. The look on her face is like, oh, no, she's involved. And then this is where I was like with my girlfriend, like, we see Wanda go into the house. Billy and Tommy aren't there. I'm immediately like, where are the kids? And they're having a very small conversation. Where are the kids? And she sees the peanut butter and she sees the Kate on the window. Where are the kids? Like, where are the boys? Like, they're probably downstairs in the basement. Clearly, she wants Wanda in the basement. And I'm like, she killed those kids. She killed because. The debate's been, are those kids real? Like, are those legitimately physical kids? She gave birth, but in a reality warping scenario, reality altering powers, that could mean anything. I'm guessing the kids at this point aren't real, but they were created by Wanda with Wanda's magic, and that I feed on your magic means, oh, those kids are gone. Those kids are dead. Arguable, those kids have been eaten by something because they are magic. Like, the dark possibilities are kind of endless here. But we get in that reveal that she is Agatha Harkness. That she is, in fact, another witch. And that her powers seem to work very similar to Wanda. Like, when she cast that very minor spell on Wanda, it looks like Wanda's ability, but it's purple instead. And then we get the monsters things like, it's been Agatha all the time, and I killed Sparky. Like that we were even kind of saying that over and saying, and I killed Sparky, because we all kind of assumed that she killed that dog. The question is though, why she killed the dog. So the question also becomes, what is Agatha Harkness's plan, and is she working alone? As a witch, she has what appears to be a grimoire of some kind. She may have like a patron, a demon, a lord, whatever she worships, be it a Mephisto. I think this does still bring into like Nightmare Mephisto territory, maybe a Dormammu. I doubt Dormammu, but maybe something like that, where, because we still don't know who Ralph is. Maybe the rabbit's actually Ralph. But we still don't, maybe Pietro still is actually Ralph. We don't know who Ralph is. In the comics, Ralph is actually a name that Mephisto goes by. I have a feeling if Ralph is someone, we're going to meet him in this next episode, episode 8. We're going to meet Ralph, finally. But the question is, what is Agatha's ultimate goal? So, we know she showed up she showed up as this thing has already taken place. Because she's clearly, she used Pietro to interrogate Wanda, how she did it. Agatha doesn't even know exactly how she did it. And I think Agatha's trying to figure that out. So she's just been playing the part, buying her time, but she's also been sowing seeds of dissension between Vision and Wanda. For instance, we see her actually place a little spell on Herb, so they have that conversation. We see that she was playing the part with Vision, She threw Pietro in there to show dissension between them, as we saw in episode 7 or something, episode 6. Why does she want them? She must see Vision as some sort of threat to whatever her ultimate plan is, which begs the question: what is her ultimate plan? Obviously, we'll probably learn what the plan is in the next episode. But then why didn't she try to take Wanda on herself? My guess is it's kind of like the old experienced veteran versus the new, shining powered, new recruit. It's one of those things where Wanda's more raw and visceral and powerful than Agatha is. But she's also much more experienced. She's mentally broken. Whereas Agatha, maybe not as overall powerful, is much more experienced, manipulative, crafty. So whatever the ultimate goal is, maybe what it is she needed Wanda to be at a certain point where her energy is starting to, her abilities of control are starting to waver. Clearly, we're seeing that. Her level of energy is starting to diminish, and her mental state is just taxed. So now it's to the point where Agatha can now puppet her the way she wants her to be puppeted. Like, lead her to where she needs to be led. Now, again, what is the ultimate goal for that? Like, and I noticed that too, in the post-credits scene where Monica, Pietro kind of, Snooper's gonna snoop. And I didn't even know about that until I actually went on YouTube. I'm like, oh, there was a post-credit scene? But we see those branches are actually apparently siphoning off energy. So I'm guessing energy of Westview and the hex, as it's called. So what is her ultimate goal? My guess is she's trying to resurrect someone or something. Someone is a loose term. Like, a Mephisto is technically someone, but he's also something. She's probably trying to either resurrect a dead someone, or she's trying to get enough energy from Wanda to materialize a being that probably has an incorporeal form, who can't exist on this dimensional plane without assistance, something like that. That's my thought on what her end game is. That's where I'm going right now with that. Man, you want to talk about asking so many more questions than the answers. I mean, it gave us a lot of answers. It gave us an answer on Monica Rambeau's power stats now. Who Agnes is. What Hayward's ultimate goal cataract was. Project Cataract. He wanted to get Vision's body up and running. But then, it's the last question. First off, we still don't know who the super big cameo is going to be. Because I doubt it was Evan Peters. I don't think it was Evan Peters. It's allegedly a Luke Skywalker level cameo, which that doesn't mean anything. Elizabeth Olsen might not know what a Luke Skywalker level cameo actually is to compare to. But I'll say this too, in terms of Avengers that could show up, I think Agatha being there actually increases the likelihood of like a Doctor Strange showing up. Definitely increases the chances. Doesn't make it 100% lock, nope, but increases the chances, certainly. But obviously, what's Agatha's actual goal? How did Wanda still do this? What is going to happen to Vision? We probably know what's going to happen to Vision, but what's going to happen to Vision? And what's going to be the aftermath of this that leads us into Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness? My guess is, assuming that we're on the Nexus of Reality, which is what that commercial was alluding to, she's going to crack or damage the Nexus of Reality. And the multiverse is going to start spewing in. So that's my theory. But we'll find out next week. Oh, man. I do love the week-by-week episode thing, but I do wish they were at least longer with more content. Oh, well. Thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed. What did you think of the episode? Did you like it? I think this might be my favorite episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. So always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And hit that bell if you want to be notified. Later, folks. I got a what if tomorrow and then my usual Sunday shtick. So see you later. Have a good one.